It is 12 a.m. when we arrive at Emmanuel Khaemba's home in Wekelea village in Bungoma County. It is that season again, a time when the Lukembe nation comes alive with songs and dances as boys in the community prepare to undergo the rite of passage to become men. A ritual marred with many superstitions, yet has been passed down for generations. But have you ever asked yourself how it feels like to take your son through this rite of passage during these changing times and the modern invasion? A rite that Mzee Khaemba, an elder in the Tachoni sub-tribe of Bukusu community, underwent almost half a decade ago and has successfully led his 25 sons to go through the knife.
Na hii kutairiza watoto ndio kimila yetu. Vile unaona wanaimba hivi ndio kunachangia vile tuko hapa hivi.
Mzee Khaemba has embraced this ritual so much that he looks forward to it every even year. He is soaked into this ritual and literally feels no pain or suffering that these young boys go through.
Tunafanya kimila.
In fact, Khaemba says this is the only rite that shall be upheld for many years to come.
Kana na kimila yetu. Ani tangu kutoka nyuma babu wetu, babu wa papa wangu na kuanga na maneno vile wakati yenye kunaenda huko kuna kulanga kiapo fulani. Sasa hiyo kiapo ndio inakulazimiza paka tufanye hivyo.
The young boys aged 13 and 10 have braved the chilly night, which does not dampen their spirit, as it sets the right background for the lifetime rite ahead, even as they continue dancing to the tunes of the jingling traditional circumcision bells known as Chinyimba. Excitement has filled the air, albeit somber mood of the boys scheduled to face the circumciser to prove their manhood. Back inside, the father Mzee Khaemba continues entertaining his guests. The traditional brew known as busha, served in a pot called Onyango, full of long reed-like straws called chisehe, a drink revered by this community.
Hii mtungi tunawekanga hapa, hii iko na maneno. Ya chini hapa, umeona umefunga hii, imefunga maneno ya hapa. Na hii imesanya, na hii imeleta. Unatoka mbali inatoa.
Suddenly, without notice, they stand up, charged as if possessed by a spirit, and what follows is rhythmic chants with sweat dripping from their faces. Of importance to note is that many of those dancing here are Khaemba's sons.
Sababu papa vile alikufa, papa alizaa hizi watu 27, lakini vile alikufa alikuwa na watu 361, lakini sasa wanaweza kuingia 1000.
However, outside the house, the situation is just as we left it. The hot-blooded youths raise their voices with each round before finally dancing as they leave the homestead.
It is a long journey for these young boys in Bungoma County. The initiation ceremony is almost coming to an end, but they are determined to get into adulthood. As for them, they still have a long night ahead of them as they will go to the river tomorrow so that they can at last undergo the initiation ceremony.
At the crack of dawn, we are on our way to the river. After driving for over an hour led by a guide, we reach the end of the road. We are forced to follow on foot through shambas, jumping through streams, a run which takes close to half an hour. At a distance, we can see the group gathered around ready to witness this rite. We are right on time to find the young boys lowering their shots before climbing down the riverbanks to go dip themselves on the river as a symbol of cleaning their boyhood before getting into manhood.
Ifika pale lazima umpe muda na yeye ajipange, aonekane kwanza ako sawa, kupika kwanza mbizi kwa maji, hapo ndio sasa anajiprepare, akitoka ndio tupake utongo.
With their sisters behind them, the young boys are smeared with mud, believed to strengthen the boys of the uncircumcised, called vasinde, same time serving as a form of anesthesia, numbing the senses in readiness for the cut. They are slapped to test their tolerance to pain. The anxiety and tension is palpable on their faces. The cold, chilly morning not making it any better for the young boys. I am a little bit concerned by this, but I'm told that in this community, embracing bravery is a key virtue of manhood. From this point, there is no turning back. In line with tradition, grass anchored with mud is put on the head of the young boys.
Tingisa hii atakuwa ameokopa hiyo kisu. Lazima ekae tu iwezi fanya hivi hata kidogo. Ndio tuchue basi huyu ni ndume.
Their sister starts with picking up the mud that may have fallen down, lest somebody with bad intentions come and use it for other purposes.
Msichana sasa ndiye atakuwa anamshughulikia. Kuna mtu mwingine atakuwa anampelekea chakula pasipo mwenye alimbebea mavazi kutoka mtoni, tena akakuja kumtoa hiyo utonga akiwa hapa.
The hour of reckoning is nigh. Back home, the men honored with their responsibility are sharpening their knives in readiness for the boys. The journey from the river back home yet starts with another old-age song, Thioyeyo, whose rhythm has been maintained from the days of the old in Bukusu culture. It reminds the candidates to shun cowardice and embrace bravery, key virtues of manhood. The procession takes a different route, apparently to avert any harm that may have been planned on the way, as the hour of reckoning draws closer every second.
The chants filling the air are a clear indication that the complex rites of passage that was being held on the riverbank was a success, and that right now they're heading to the last point where the initiation is going to take place.
The boys finally appear. The sharp reality that awaits the boys is laid bare. Clad in their distinctive uniform and armed with a terrific-looking traditional knife, the traditional circumciser, known as Omuhebi, guide them into the homestead, not going through the gate, but through the fence.
Tutalili yake kama anatetemeka. Tukashumu kama ni roho kama yetu. Sasa ikapita mpaka nimpate kwa njia, nimpe kisu ashike. Hii roho yake tulie sasa.
According to the Bukusu tradition, the Omukebi is inborn and doesn't need training for him to perform the rite. They believe that circumcision is as a result of powerful magical powers called kumsambwa.
Kulingana vile nilikuwa mtoto, nilikuwa hata kuimba mahali, roho inatetemeka sana. Sasa nikaona kama mzazi akaniambia hili ni Mukebi.
Despite overseeing more than 2 dozens of his son undergo this rite, Mzaemba's adrenal fears start rising. We stand in silence waiting nervously. The torment increases. Any slight movement from this young boy will not only spell doom among his peers, but also the legacy of Mzee Khaemba of bravery. We watch carefully, and with a quick flick of the two Omuhebi's wrist, the deed is done. There is blood, and then there is ululation for the successful rite. As tradition requires, Mzee Khaemba offers his son a gift before we also offer what we have for this brave boy. The boys are then required to go around the house walking backwards before they get in the house in the same manner, albeit under some other person. The reason?
Ni kimira ya Pwamalie. Hiyo tuliipada kutoka kwa wasewe wa zamani.
Mzee Emmanuel Khaemba remains adamant that despite advancement in technology and westernization, they will still hold dearly to this culture that has been passed from generations.
After holding a night vigil and conducting a circumcision rite called Huminya in Wehelea village in Bungoma sub-county, we've come to the end of this superstitious cultural rite of passage that these locals have been able to uphold for a very long time. Onyango reporting for KUTV from Bungoma County.